The last trail lost in the Tetons. In the late fall of last year, a solo hiker named Evan Reid set out to cross a rugged mountain pass deep in the Teton Mountains of Idaho. He'd done plenty of solo hikes before, but never this far into the backcountry, and never this late in the season. The days were still warm, but the nights were already dipping below freezing. Locals had warned him that the weather could turn without notice, but Evan shrugged it off and thought, "It's just a weekend hike. Up and over the pass. Nothing I can't handle." He parked his truck at a lonely trailhead and disappeared into the wilderness, alone. The first day went smoothly. The trees blazed gold and orange in the afternoon sun. Evan made quick progress, snapping photos, breathing in the clean air, loving the silence. But just before sunset, he spotted something strange off the trail. A pile of small rocks stacked perfectly in the shape of a spiral, almost ceremonial. There were no footprints, no signs anyone had been there, probably some bored camper. That night, the temperature dropped fast. He huddled in his sleeping bag, listening to the wind scrape through the branches. Somewhere outside, he thought he heard a faint whistle. Not the wind, not an animal. He waited. Silence. By mid-morning the next day, clouds had moved in. The trail grew thinner, narrower, barely clinging to the mountainside. As he climbed higher, he found another spiral of rocks, this time blackened as if burned. That's when Evan started to feel watched. Not by wildlife, not by anything he could name. The woods were too quiet, too still. Later that afternoon, he spotted what looked like an old, torn glove hanging from a tree branch. Not dropped, but placed carefully. It wasn't dirty or weathered. It looked recent. Then something moved in the trees ahead. Fast. Too big for a squirrel, too smooth for a deer. Evan responded, "Hello?" No answer. As the light began to fade, Evan reached the edge of a narrow ridge. On one side, a steep, rocky wall. On the other, nothing but open air and a vertical drop. He took a deep breath and started to cross. Halfway there, the wind kicked up. Gravel shifted under his boots. Suddenly, his foot slid out from under him. His backpack pulled him sideways toward the edge. He hit the ground hard, one hand flailing over empty space. The cliff yawned below him. For a full 10 seconds, Evan dangled by one elbow, fingers gripping rock. He fought panic. His boots scraped. He pulled, inch by inch, until he could swing his legs back onto solid ground. Evan thought to himself, "I'm not dying here, not like this." He mustered all the strength he had left in him and pulled himself back onto the boulder. Evan laid there, catching his breath and replaying back in his mind how close he almost came to death. That night, Evan didn't sleep. His small campfire flickered against the growing wind. Trees creaked in protest. In the distance, a single sharp whistle echoed again. Once, then nothing. He stayed awake until dawn. The next day, Evan tried to follow his map down the other side of the pass, but nothing matched. The trail was gone, covered in snowdrift and blown leaves. Worse, the forest seemed different. Landmarks had shifted. A boulder he passed that morning was gone when he backtracked. At one point, he found a wooden signpost, its lettering scratched away, and the wood split like it had been struck with a blade. By mid-afternoon, he was cold, dehydrated, and completely lost. And then, by pure chance, he spotted a rusted metal trail marker jutting from a stump. It pointed east toward the valley. He didn't question it. He followed it without stopping, without looking back. By nightfall, he was on a Forest Service road. An old truck came by after dark and gave him a ride back to the trailhead. When asked what had happened, Evan only said, "Evan, the mountain didn't want me there." He never went into detail, never talked about the spirals or the whispers in the night. He deleted all the photos from the trip, and he never hiked alone again. When friends ask about the Tetons, he shakes his head and says one thing, "Beautiful place, but I'll never go back."